Hey everybody, it's Lawrence, lawrencelanoff.com. Well, I want to greet you today and just say it's early morning. We're just in the transition here. It is the longest night of the year. And, I woke up at like 4 o'clock this morning and I just had this idea that I really needed to share with you. And that's the idea of the primitive brain in men and women, and specifically the primitive sexual brain, and why this is so important and why it's important to understand. So I thought I'd tell you a little bit about it and remind you that everything I'm teaching here and everything that I'm teaching about sex is available in my Tantra X course. That's tantra-x.com. So if you like what you're hearing here, I would really invite you to go and check that out, because it really is my download of everything that I know from the last 20 years of studying sexuality and Tantra specifically. And because I've studied it my whole life, it's rich. There's a lot of material in there, and it's life-changing. I mean, it really is life-changing, because unlike some programs which teach you a little technique, this is changing the very way you think about life and the very belief systems you have about sex and yourself and female sexuality. Which takes me to what today's talk is about, which is unleashing her sexual brain, like that primal, primitive brain that needs to be unleashed. This is the key. Her primal brain needs to be unleashed. Now, when I say unleash, what do I mean? What I mean is there's this storehouse, this pent-up energy inside of everybody, but specifically inside of women. And it's like a reservoir of sexual energy. And one of two things is going to happen. She's either going to get to experience that with you, or somebody, or basically she'll spend her life longing for an experience that she never has. And if you're in a relationship and you haven't yet unleashed that primitive brain, then what happens is she just sort of feels more and more like she's being, like her sex and her sexual energy is being wasted. And there is this inner longing that will go to fantasy and and potentially even seeking out experiences, but it won't be unleashed on you. So the first thing to understand is that there is this thing, like this storehouse of primitive sexual energy that can be unleashed like a storm. And when that breaks free, it's like a dam breaking free. And you want to be there, man. You want to be there to drink in and devour and really experience the richness of that sexual energy. Now, part of what you need to understand is that, as I said, this exists, but also that the key to unlocking it is not a bunch of techniques. I mean, sure, there are things which will there are things you can do. There are physical steps. There's plenty of materials out there on sort of the how-to. But what I'm really interested in sharing with you is kind of a mindset, and the how-to has to do with creating a sense of safety. And safety is just so important for unleashing this storehouse of sex energy, because safety is the key. Safety is the thing that lets her know that wherever she goes, and no matter how much she loses her mind, that sort of the rational mind or her identity, that A, she'll be safe, and B, when she comes back from that primordial place, that you will care for her and treat her with respect, and maybe even hold her. Like it's not uncommon for tears to come when we unleash these places. So when you specifically are unleashing or helping a woman unleash this force, it's a very moving experience, and it can be moving for both of you. My experience is that way. It's just, it feels so good and deep and wonderful. So I really want to share that with you, and invite you to think about how you specifically can unleash that brain in your partner or partners. And part of how you do that is you really need to get into the mindset. And again, I'll invite you to go check out tantrax.com, and I go through all of that. I have all kinds of materials in there, but the main thing to understand is that I'm teaching you how to unleash this primordial power. And as you unleash this primordial power, really beautiful things happen. Because it's like every woman wants to experience just the full force and power of her sexuality being let free. And if you can be the person that does that, it's life-changing. It'll be life-changing for both of you. And specifically, what's funny is it's not uncommon to get referral sex as a result of just this simple thing, because if a girl does experience this, she'll talk to her friends and her friends' friends. I mean, it's really something to behold. And this has happened to me so many times over the years now that I just feel like I have to share this information, because it's just so beautiful and life-changing. And if you're used to playing a game to, get access to sex, or, struggle and play this thing about, she doesn't want sex and you want sex, like that's just a no fun game. I mean, that's a game where everybody loses, in my opinion. But when you can understand at the deepest levels how her sexual being works, and then start to unleash that and help her, or create a safe space for her to touch those spaces in herself and really unleash her primordial sexual power, man, all I can tell you is the whole world is better off for that one thing. So that's all I have for you right now. I hope you have a beautiful solstice, and everything can change in a moment. You can learn new things. Your brain, because of neuroplasticity, you can learn. So no matter where you are, no matter what state your relationship is, things can change, and they can change for the better. And so that is my message to you today. Thanks for listening. Subscribe now. Share this video if you want. And highly recommend you go check out tantra-x.com. Order now. I've got a holiday special going. And, now's the time. Now is the time. tantrax.com. And I will see you in the next